Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Converted Podcast, the podcast about the guild on Aerie Peak Convert to Raid. With you as always is Salmisis the Shaman, Belschnickel the Priest, and Navox the Warrior. It's about to get real. Hey guys, welcome to episode 24 of the Converted Podcast. I am Belschnickel and I prefer homemade bath soaps. And with me I've got Salmisis and Nav, pumped up, excited about the show tonight, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Well, in this episode, we have another live show, and the chat room is exploding! It's the CTR year anniversary. We're getting boosted to 90, and a member of the CTR Iron Council, Jules, joins us to offer some advice. Navox, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sal, and I just want to say thanks to all that are listening right now and who have joined us in our chat room. Chat room, what's going on? Belschnickel, how you been?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just looking at Sal's face after I said the bath soaps thing. You guys just totally... I just threw that random fact out there just to see what you guys would say. But I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm having a good time. I'm pumped up by the show, man. It's been a while. Man, those 2 weeks between shows, man, they drag on, man. I want to get back in here, man, with you guys and do our thing. So it's been going good, man. It's been going really good. Been getting back into the rating thing. You know, been doing a little flex action. I got out on Saturday night and flexed a little bid with Jaded Heels and her merry band of gentlemen and ladies on Saturday night.
How'd that go? Were they sober?
Yeah, right. I think I was the only sober person in the entire raid, but it was fun, man. We if you're looking for progression and like boss killing, that might not be the thing for you, but we had fun, man. Like I say, wiping with friends is better than killing bosses with people you don't like. So that was fun. So I've been doing that. You know, the raid team, the team for the win. We're doing pretty good. We got spoils week before last, and we had a 1% wipe on Thok this past week.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah, dude, you were there. That was pretty cool. We actually streamed our raid for the first time, which was kind of fun. But the crazy thing, hear me out, guys, right? They're nerfing some stuff coming up, right? And Thok, it's a good little segue. Now, the craziest thing happened this week. Like, Blizzard actually announced that there's some bosses in 10-man that are actually harder than 25. Now, that's totally crazy because we know that's impossible, right? Because we know in 25-man raiding, there's 2 of every boss. There's lightning coming out of the ground. If you get close to anybody, it's an instant wipe. So I know Blizzard is totally off base, but Sal, what do you think about the nerfs? Because Blizzard is obviously wrong in this case, right? They gotta be wrong.
Okay, they're only nerfing Thok.
No, there's some other nerfs coming down.
But they're only nerfing the 10-man content because you 10-man pansies just keep crying.
No, I have the quote. I wrote the quote down.
The more you yell and cry, the more you just get your way, and that's fine. I'm happy for you.
This is the quote. There are adjustments of encounters at specific sizes and difficulty that require that present a disproportionate jump in challenge. Disproportionate. I don't know, Nav. What do you think, man? That sounds like things were a little bit too hard on 10-man versus 25.
God,
come on now.
We couldn't even get Gary down this week with our group. So I'm just, I don't know. I'm hit or miss on the nerfs. I want things to go faster for everybody, but I definitely want the challenge to still be there. I hate personally. I like going through the content normal and downing it all, but then when I don't like getting nerfs. I don't like getting nerfs before we actually go and down something. So if they're hitting it hard with heroic, then when we get there in heroic and we do it, and it's just like, great, we did it, but it was kind of like we got our handheld with it a little bit. No, but
it's not a blanket nerf. They're only nerfing certain fights. You know what I mean? It isn't like across the board.
Okay. They're thinking that there's something actually wrong with Thok. So they're changing the difficulty on 10-man Thok because they look at it and like, it's not quite the way. The progression isn't happening exactly the way we want it to happen.
I love Thok. That fight, I love it.
It's a fun fight.
The way it is right now. I single tank it. It's great. I love it. It's
Yeah, but you're beast mode Navix, dude. Come on now. All right, man. So what else? So Sal, what's up with your week, man? What have you been up to? What have you been doing in game?
Okay, so I had this really weird dream a couple nights ago.
Okay.
It's kind of weird where this warlock portal came and summoned me like it was a real thing. Like summoned me into the Exodar in Azeroth, and I was talking to Cage.
Nice.
Wow.
So you went into
That
the
is
summoning
not something
portal.
you wanna- Yeah, it was a warlock summoning portal. Yeah.
Okay, how'd that go?
What do you mean how'd that go? It was a
Did you
dream.
get a stomach ache after you were summoned? What
So this is
happened?
not real. This is a dream.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Or it was maybe it was Cage's show, the summoning portal, where he kidnapped me and forced me into his portal. And then my stomach did hurt, but that was mostly just from talking to Cage.
Wow. Wow. So
So-
you had a great time is what you're trying to say.
Oh yeah, me and Cage had a good time.
That's
and
awesome.
So y'all.
He's doing a
kidnapped
really good
one.
job with that. I like what he's doing with that. He's keeping it short and sweet, and
Mhm.
he's just doing, what is it, like 10 minutes? What
Yeah, they're not that long. I watched the
Oh,
row
yeah.
one. It wasn't that long at all. It was good.
Okay, the first one what had a Row in it, and Row is on our chat room right now,
Mhm.
and it was so funny.
What's up,
I
Row?
really liked the first one. Yeah, apparently Row, everyone's saying congratulations, you got a new job. So yay!
Yeah, I saw that on
Row.
Twitter, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Jobs are nice.
Yeah.
Money's good. Money is good.
Navox, you haven't actually met Row, have you? Or you have on the other podcasts?
Yeah, I met him on when it was Press Y podcast. Now they're over Blizzmaster, but I met him on that show. We actually did a Trivial Pursuit one evening.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that one night.
The WoW Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
We got to hang out with him at BlizzCon a bit.
Oh, cool.
He was the most popular guy there, though, I will say.
That's because Rose is stud,
actually
man.
have
Come
a
on now.
Realm Maintenance T-shirt. I actually have one of those. So
I can't
Okay.
say enough how great that show is, man. By the way, like what he does for the community of podcasters is just unbelievable. You know, that's fantastic.
Like every show, like always turns in a different podcast, always turns into the I Love Rose show. But
Oh, he's pipping the shirt. I like it.
We're pimping.
That's
Rose
awesome.
maintenance every Tuesday, guys. Okay, so the other thing I did was I got pulled into, doing the 25-man raids, of course. Okay, but on Friday night I got pulled into something kind of crazy. I signed on. I'm tired. It's after work. Like, I'm just gonna get on and kill some stuff. And Navox is like, "Want to kill Gary?"
yeah.
What? Come in. I'm like, I don't know the fight. It's okay. Like, I really don't know the fight. It's okay. It's okay. And I went in and just licked the floor a lot. But no, towards the end, I was holding my own. But I was still at the very bottom of the DPS charts, and I'm not used to being there.
You went in cold. You didn't know the fight, right? I mean, you said you didn't know the fight. We said we did explain it to you, but you went in cold with it. So you did rather well. I mean, I know that we did absolutely terrible. We did absolutely terrible. I'm ashamed that we didn't down him because we normally get him down. And I thought
Wait, you've downed him before? Like you got him on farm?
Oh
now?
yeah. We usually down them every week. If we don't down them on, we go into progression on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
We're actually going on Tuesday, and then whatever we didn't do progression heroic, we would kick it over to normal and just blast through the rest because there's a lot of us that like the heirloom items when we're trying to get collect heirloom items and whatnot.
Okay.
For warlords for our other alts, but we definitely try to get Gary down and. Yeah, so we didn't do such a great job this week.
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, I had a good time. Yeah,
Well, good.
even though, and I got to learn that fight. And towards the end of the fight, even though we didn't get him down, we got him down to like, 7% or something. But by the end of the fight, I'm like, I know the fight now, and I wasn't dying, and I was still alive at the end of it. So I think thanks for that. But Navox, how's your week been?
Oh, week's been good. I've been doing chores, leveling that rogue. It just feels like I'm doing chores every time I log them in. It's all right.
I do it.
It's because I think that I'm going to get that cloak and I'm instantly going to do a lot better than what I'm doing. But so I played the rogue a little bit, played my brewmaster, and I'm just not. They're not gelling with me. I just can't get into playing a brewmaster monk and a rogue. So I decided to level another warrior. And
Come on, man. You're like another warrior?
I made another warrior, so I have a backup warrior. I need a backup warrior so I can help out the other raid teams whenever they're like, hey, can you come tank for us? I'm like, I'm already saved to something, but I want to be able to hey.
Being a paladin or a druid,
Yeah, I like warriors. It's all right. No, I have a paladin, and bore me, and I have a druid, and people are saying you should try a druid out now. They're a lot better than they were. I played a druid back in BC. I even leveled them up in Cataclysm to 85, and I just can't get into it. I love my warrior. I love the way they play, and I'm just, it's just my thing.
Hey man, you're not much the warrior, man.
I thought I'd do it. What's funny is, I'm like, I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to level them up as Fury and go through all these quests, and I'm like, oh, this is fun, but you get into instances, and your DPS just tanks. It just, if you're going in as DPS, low level dungeons, you're not going to beat the tank because of Vengeance. You just won't beat the tank in DPS. So I'm just like, this is no fun. So I kicked it back over to Prot, and I'm just leveling that way.
Wait a minute. Okay. One of the first times I ever ran with you, Netbooks.
Yeah.
I mentioned how, like, my DPS wasn't so good. Although it was, it was pretty good. And you're like, I'm convinced that all DPS players have the same thing on their screens. Just all it is one big chart of SCADA or recount.
That's it. That's all they have. That is it. They just
awesome.
have recount open. They don't pay attention. They're like, the healer's going to heal me. I don't care if I'm standing and stuff. As long as my bar stays ahead of all the other bars, I'm doing my job. That's it.
DPS tend to be recount hungry, though. That's a fact. That is a fact. DPS, that's all they're interested in, man. Just the numbers.
That's right.
That was like the first thing that's true, but it's funny that when the tables are turned and you're not a tank anymore, you're DPS, you're like, oh, but my DPS isn't the top anymore. This isn't fun. So let's hear you complain about that again.
Yeah, I didn't like that my DPS was I didn't like that my DPS was low while I was doing those low level dungeons. So I'll go back to Prot.
I want to be top. I want to do double everyone else.
Hey.
Okay, now you know what it feels like to be DPS.
That's right.
Yes, to be on top. Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much it for my week.
Well, good stuff, man. So Sal, we got a guest coming on tonight that some people might know who she is. Break that down for us. Who do you got coming on today?
Okay, tonight we have a member of the Iron Council. Jules is coming with us, and Belschnickel, you go ahead and get her in here if you can.
I will get her in here.
Now, after the interview, we have a lot more to talk about. We have announcements and stuff. So stay tuned as we get Jules in. Yeah, we're going to talk about the new Boost to 90.
There it is.
Hey,
Jules!
We can hear you. Hey, we can see you. Yes.
Can you see me?
This is fantastic.
Hey, there you go.
Hey!
Jules, this is fantastic. Hey, Jules, welcome to the show, man. Listen, before you came on, right, I went on Google, okay, like everybody does, and I'm like, let me look up the 100 coolest people ever on the planet, right? So I Google it up, and at number 37, man, there's Jules Scott. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? I'm like, this is crazy. I know that lady. I met her in life, right?
So full
So the 36 people in front of you, right? There's 36 people in front of you. They're all dead, but Bill Cosby. You're number 2, Jules. You're number 2, man.
Did you know, Belle? Did you know that Bill Cosby and I share a birth date?
I did not know that. But I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. That's fantastic. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited. Like, this is like the show that I get so excited about, and I'm thinking about this going, I can relax. I'm surrounded by my people.
Yes.
It's like this is the thing.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming on.
Surrounded by guildies.
By guildies.
That's right.
Oh, Jules, we wanted you to come on for a long time, and finally we were able to invite you, and you said yes, and we're like, yes, thank you, and then to talk about all things CTR. So we're really happy. Thank you very much.
Just be gentle on me, because I don't know how much I'm going to remember on a Monday. My raid lockout resets tomorrow. So
nice.
Absolutely. So, Jules, you're part of the Iron Council and the Convert to Raid Guild. So what is your role with the Iron Council? Can you explain what the Iron Council is for some of the other members that may not know?
Absolutely. The Iron Council is made up of 4 members. It is Pat Crane, Zug, as the GM, myself, Darius, and Solar Flare. And so we decided to create this council of advisors to Zug and to help him with some of the larger decisions in the guild, and also to just kind of help to give guidance, because once we started growing, we realized that we needed a lot of departments in order to make this whole machine kind of fly. So as things started to build, when we created the raid liaisons, and then we created the event planners, and then the bankers came on, and eventually the greeters came. And so we needed people to like head up these departments and kind of be the person, so that Pat wasn't the one person that everybody went to. Plus the officers really just kind of needed that backup support. So Pat came to the four of us and said, I think I would like you guys to be this council. So we deal with some of the heavier stuff, disciplinary actions if we have to. Unfortunately, that does happen in a guild this size, but fortunately, not that often. And then we kind of put together the ideas that people bring us, or to come together on some ideas of like how things can run better. And then that usually results in a town hall meeting. When's
the next town hall meeting?
That is a very good question. I said something to Zug about that. I'm like, and usually this is what happens. It's like, we haven't had a town hall in a while, have we? No.
Let's do one.
Let's do a town hall meeting, which then results in like, okay, guys, and emails flying around. And then there's Pat like taking notes like the day before. And, he sits there every time he does a town hall with a list of things, tells everybody who's going to be talking. And it's a lot of work, but he does it so well. And so the Blizzard response of soon TM for the town hall is on its way.
That's awesome.
Those town hall meetings, that actually brought me over to the guild. It just brings you back to the vanilla feel, how we had the communities when we first, started playing WoW or EverQuest or things like that. When you had a guild, you would have weekly meetings where everybody in the guild would get together. So, I mean, they're really great.
It's a challenge with a guild this size. Communication is one of the biggest things about this guild that is the challenge. And so, we have the forums. Unfortunately, many folks don't read the forums. And so how do you get the information out there? So we have the town halls to try to at least let people know who's who, have the discussions, at least to get to know the voices and the people, because it's hard. There's so much information, just trying to get like even just the CTR year-versary to get everything out there. Tour Arts has done a fantastic job getting that out on social media and on the forums and in the guild. Like if you're in the guild, you'll see her posting and say, hey, this is going to be happening soon. But that is like the 10,000-pound gorilla that we have to try to wrangle, is to get everybody on the same page to know what's going on at most times in the guild. So
do you hear that, guys? Go check the forums. Forums.signalmedias.com.
Absolutely.
Go check them out right now. All right. So also you do a little show called Tauren Think Tank.
Oh, that little thing?
That little thing, So, I listen to it. There's a few shows that I have in my Stitcher setup because I have a Droid, so I use Stitcher to listen to all my podcasts. And that's one of the shows I like to listen to on the way to work. And what I like about it is and don't take this the wrong way, it's got that NPR feel to it. I like listening to you and Rem. You go into the stories about your day, and then you go into people asking you questions. I really, really enjoy that. I enjoy listening to that show. And what I wanted to know was, how did you and Remgar get together to decide you wanted to do Tauren Think Tank?
It's a funny story. It is. And it kind of like the serendipitous type of thing where things fell into place as they should have. Rem, it all started with an iPhone. Rem and I used to raid together for a number of years. We were in the same guild. We were officers. We were raiding together. And we became good friends and used to text each other a lot. And then we couldn't text each other as much as we could because I was on an iPhone and he was on a regular texting plan. And he couldn't really do that much with it. And he's like, I'm running out of minutes. So I got to do something else. So he wound up getting an iPhone. And then he's like, I got an iPhone, Jules. What do I do with this thing?
So, how do I use it?
How do I use it? And I said, dude, you got to listen to podcasts. And he says, what's a podcast?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, I have been a podcast listener for so long, and I've been listening to WoW podcasts and other podcasts for years. And so I'm like, okay, first things you got to do is download podcasts of things you like, and you like WoW. So go download the instance and go download Convert to Raid. Those are the two I told him to go listen to. And he comes back to me a day later and he goes, "This is boring."
What?
I'm like, come on. So I said, come on, give it another try. Try something else that you like. You know, do you like comedians? Do you like it? And so he tried a couple of others, and then he went back to the WoW podcast, and he got it. He got what it was. He fell in love with Convert to Raid. Absolutely fell in love with it. And he said to me, sent me a text message one day, and he says, "Now I want to do a podcast." And I responded back to him within 30 seconds. And I said, "I'm in." And I thought, you know, I didn't even think he was joking at this point, because he's like, "We should do this." And I said, "Yes, we should do this. How are we going to do this?" And so we had no idea how to do this. And he says his buddy Fit, his best friend, he's a genius. We'll figure it out. No problem. We'll figure it out. We had no concept. We had no knowledge about how to do anything. We had no microphones. We just had a
You just knew you were doing a podcast about something.
About something. So we sat down and we talked about it one day. And I have on my phone, I have a note that has 4 names on it. And one of them was Tauren Think Tank. And I said, "Here's the names that I picked out." And he picks out, he goes, "That one." And he pointed to it. And I said, "Okay, then we've got it. And what are we going to do with it?"
Wow. So you had the name even before like the actual concept of what you guys were going to do.
Pretty much, because he said to me, because we had just gotten off a really tough route with our guild. We had actually been with this guild for a number of years. Things were going poorly. We decided to take our raid team and move it into our own guild. And it caused drama. It was kind of ugly. We were officers in that guild. We had to start from scratch and build a new guild. And he said to me, "You know, we know how to deal with drama stuff. Why don't we talk about that?"
We're good at dealing with drama.
It's exactly what it was. So for our first show, obviously and Arcane, my husband, says to me, "Do you realize that you're doing a show about advice from people who listen, but nobody knows who you are and you have no content yet?" And I said, "That's okay. They'll come." And I went out on the official forums. I started scouring the forums, and I just looked for topics, and we started by talking about topics on the forums. And that's it. It didn't take long before we started getting letters.
Wow. It's and the thing about like Nav was saying too, like listening to that show, it's like a relaxing kind of a show. Like, you know, you kind of just, it's like a chill show. It's good stuff.
Yep.
And it's almost like, I don't know why I keep thinking about it, but you guys know Delilah?
Absolutely.
It's kind of got like that Delilah feel to like, "Hey, you know, how's everything going? Listen, this song is for you. I know you have some pain, you know, you're feeling a little down, so this song is for you. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy this song." It has like that kind of a feel to it. Like, you just feel good. You know, I don't know. I could be totally off and totally crazy with that, but that's just kind of what it reminds me of.
I don't want to plink the music behind everything, though.
I know. The saxophone going on. You know, this is going to be strange, like, but my favorite part of Tauren Think Tank, I listen to it, but I like the food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the food.
And then
it's always something off the wall.
Nowhere. It came out of nowhere for us to be doing this. And one of the things that, you know, in order to make a show like this work, we have to be real. We have to be totally out there for you. And you have to see our ups, our downs, our puke faces. You have to see it all. And someone suggested, it started with MacGyver and Natani from Australia. MacGyver does the engineering segment for All Things Azeroth. And so they actually sent us a box of Australian food, and they were like, "Will you try this?" And we're like, "Sure." And that's where the food tasting came from.
Speaking of food, did Ren ever find out who took his eggs?
No, he has not.
I was like, man, who takes eggs?
That is kind of messed up, man. That's messed up.
You know, actually, one of the biggest things I remember about Tauren Think Tank is right at the very beginning, or not the very, 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 very beginning, but like I remember Coltrane was a guest pretty early on,
That's
right?
true.
And he was a good guest, and it was good, whatever. But then the next week he called.
Yes, and he was.
Do you remember
drunk.
this? He'd been hitting the spicy water, and I remember.
I gotta go back and listen to that.
He didn't even try to hide it. He was just like, "Hey, guys, looks like Coltrane's calling on Skype right now. Let's see what's up." hey, what's up? And he's like, why aren't you live? I want to be in your chat room. And like that was comedy. Like, wow, because he talks about hitting the spicy water, but like he had hit the spicy water for that show, and it was funny.
Oh, and that episode, we had done that episode with Coltrane, and then I went to Nerdtacular, and I was not there. I was not there for that part of it. And so I had been sending clips into Rem from Nerdtacular in Salt Lake City. And so Fit and Rem were doing the show, and they saw, Coltrane saw that Rem was on Skype, sent him a message, he says, "What you doing?" And he's like, "I'm doing a podcast." And this is before we had the live stream. And so he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm calling." So he called in and he's like, "Hey, late night podcast bomb."
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
So he was just fantastic. It was so funny, and that's what Coltrane does. He has that spontaneity that just makes it for absolute comedy gold, and it was one of the funniest things that we've ever seen on the show. And it happened again. We had him on the show about 20 episodes later, and then he called at the post show while we were doing the post show and called. So he was talking about, yeah. And so the chat room was with him. Oh, so funny. So funny.
Oh,
That's great. So you also do that TV show with Pat Crane, Zug, for all you guys didn't know. So tell us a little bit about that TV show.
We have a fun time with that show. It's kind of changed over the time that we've started it. But our goal was to do a podcast for TV geeks. And so we've had a couple things that have come in and dropped out and added to it. But what we typically do is try to focus on the things that our people, our crowd, would be interested in. And that's TV shows that we like to watch, technology that's going on with the TV industry, streaming services, because we really focus on that. And then we pick one show every month and a half. So we watch the whole thing for the first season and we talk about it.
That's awesome.
Usually just kind of sprinkle in some fun stuff in there. There's discussion. There's always a piece in there about some wacky reality show that we talk about just to make people laugh. And it's just... It's a good time for Pat and I to just be goofy and for Pat to kind of stretch his non-gaming wings in a way that's in his creativity. He's made like fake Sharknado sequel trailers for this show. If you haven't heard it, you got to check it out. They're hilarious. Sharkalanche and stuff like that. But we're very good friends and we have a great time talking to each other. So we said, I like TV. Yeah, I like TV too. Let's talk about television. And so this season, we just started season 3 a couple weeks ago, and we're hopefully going to be able to talk to some of the cast members from King of the Nerds, the reality series on TBS.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yep. And so I've got to get, I'm working on just the final things to get the interview set for when the contestants are voted off. So, so if you're interested in King of the Nerds, man, great show. It's one of our favorites, and it's so goofy. But
I watched last season. I haven't seen it. The new season hasn't started yet, right?
Starts Thursday.
It starts Thursday. All right,
Yes,
I'll probably record this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't know. I don't think people outside the WoW community knew who Panzer was, and I think a lot of the WoW community was like, "Oh my God, it's Panzer!"
Exactly.
She's on, So,
and Pat, I actually got a chance to talk to Danielle too. There is an episode of that TV show where we talked to her about King of the Nerds, and that was a lot of fun too.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, Jules, I got a question for you. Now,
Yes.
are you a Game of Thrones person?
I am definitely a Game of
Okay,
Thrones.
now I have a question for you. And I just started. I'm like the last person on the planet to not have seen that show, and I just started watching it. I'm a couple episodes in. Okay, now when I started watching it, I said to Sal and Nav, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm watching this show, Game of Thrones. I heard it's really good. I'm really behind, but I want to get into it because I like shows. I like TV. Everybody likes TV, right? We watch all these shows. Now, these guys both said, oh, no, dude, I don't know, man. Like, we stopped watching it. All of our characters got killed off. Spoiler alert, I guess, if anybody doesn't know. But everybody got killed off, and we don't like it anymore. And I'm like, well, should I even bother? Should I even watch it? Should I invest the time, which is limited already as it is? What say you, Jules, from that TV show? Should I invest the time and continue to watch Game of Thrones?
Absolutely.
I haven't read the books either, so I'm coming at this totally just noob,
You know what? I would recommend in your extremely busy schedule that you try to find some time to read the books if you can, because it makes a whole lot more sense with the show.
Okay.
I've read the books and it does help, but the problem is that once you get to about halfway through season 2, all of it just kind of goes out the window from the books. So, but at least you understand who these people are a little bit better.
Okay.
They only get 6-7 episodes a season to be able to crunch all that in, so it goes so fast, and there's like 50 million people that you don't know the names of, but you know he was kind of that guy in the mud.
That guy in the mud. Nice. Okay.
So it's one of my favorite shows ever, just because the characters are so rich. So
okay, well then I will forge on.
Time.
Yeah, for the 2 episodes they're around.
Exactly. Don't get too attached to
Right.
anybody.
I'm expecting every single person to get annihilated, so I won't get hurt. I will not get hurt. I'm expecting everyone to go. So I'm good.
Yeah, have you finished season 1 yet, Bill?
No, dude, I'm behind. If I showed you guys the list of shows that I have to watch that I'm behind on,
No,
I mean
I'm just
everything
talking
from House
about
of Cards to everything. Like I'm just
The
behind.
last episode of season 1.
No, I'm not that far.
Let me know.
I will let you
me
know.
when
I
it
will let
happens.
you know. You'll be the first to know.
You know, I'm so behind. I just started watching the first season of the revamp of Doctor Who. I just started watching that yesterday with Christopher Eccleston stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that's how far behind I am in television. But
we gotta get you caught up.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah. But you have a project that is unique, that isn't about a podcast, and it's something that has to do with life and relationships. And could you tell us about Because of WoW?
Absolutely. Because of WoW is my baby that I was working on all of 2013 pretty much, and just kind of concept. What I wanted to do was to create a website where we as the WoW community could share our stories and memories of things that we have done, or people that have touched our lives, or that what we're grateful for because of WoW. Because getting to know the folks in the CTR Guild, and this guild has kind of changed my whole WoW experience, doing the podcast and then being a part of this mega guild. I've met people that I would have never have met before, and created friendships that I never would have created. And I know that there are hundreds of thousands of people out there who share that same sentiment. And that was what Because of WoW became, is that the sharing of that information. So what we did is I got an excellent web programmer and designer to help me, so that we could use social media as part of it. So when something happened and you had a cool picture of something that happened in WoW, or something you were grateful for, or going to BlizzCon and taking pictures with people that you've been gilded with forever, and if you hashtag it with Because of WoW, it automatically appears on the site and shares it to everybody who's there. And you can also go in and load in your own pictures and do that kind of thing. So it becomes this scrapbook of sorts. And my goal was to have it ready for BlizzCon, because that's the ultimate place where people are going to meet each other. And I had to scrape it together at the very last minute because of some technical issues and some personnel issues, and people who were working on it and couldn't finish it. And so I got it up there 3 days before we left for BlizzCon, and it was like bare bones. It wasn't working the way I wanted it to be working. And I was literally texting back and forth with my web designer while I was at BlizzCon saying, okay, did you add this part? Did this go up here? Can I check the posts? And amazing stuff. And we started, and it became like the place that people were putting things on during the show. So now, because I hadn't had a lot of time after BlizzCon to just kind of I didn't have a lot of time leading up to BlizzCon, I should say, to figure out how to keep it sustained. But I have an idea that I need to work on to kind of keep that, because we are, as Guildies, going to be meeting each other again in different ways. So I want to make it a place where people can meet up with each other, maybe through the site, coordinate themselves to meet each other up through the site, and then be able to record their events at that point too. So it's a challenge. It's a constantly changing thing where you're just like, okay, that was yesterday's news. Now what do I do next to bring it up there? But the bones are there. Now it's just building the rest of it to come around.
And I kept seeing that hashtag leading up to BlizzCon and around BlizzCon. I had no idea that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept seeing that on Twitter. And, when we were at BlizzCon, I kept seeing that, but I had no idea that was you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
It was a brainchild that I had, and mainly it came because I organized a group of WoW friends for a trip to Las Vegas for my husband Arcane's 40th birthday back in April of 2013. And I was surrounded by 12 people who all knew each other or knew of each other because of World of Warcraft. And I was like, this is really amazing that all of this would have never happened if we didn't play WoW. And that's where the idea started. And then it was like, well, what if we did this? And what if we did this? But I have zero technical programming experience at all. Like, I'm so bad at it. So it's just like, I need good people to help me. And it came together, and I was super excited.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, we had a couple questions for you in general, in terms of just Jules, like who is Jules and stuff like that, and how you kind of got into the game. When did you start playing this game? Are you playing from vanilla, or are you like when did you start playing WoW?
I started playing about 4 months before Burning Crusade dropped.
Okay.
So it was like, I had no idea what World of Warcraft was. I was playing City of Heroes before that. And I got really bored with City of Heroes. Once you hit level cap in that game, it was like, wah, wah.
That was it.
That's it.
It really was boring.
Congratulations. Roll another tune.
Exactly. And you're like, okay, what do I do? So Arcane had been working on trying to get me to play WoW. He'd been playing since launch. And I'm like, this is so funny to say this, but I said, I don't like fantasy. So I said, I don't think I'm going to like that game. And he worked on it. I had never heard of the Warcraft series. I'd never heard of any of the Warcraft games. And finally, he convinced me to try it a couple days after my birthday. He bought me a copy for my birthday. And so I was like, yeah, okay. So we rolled on a server that had started 2 days prior. Brand new server. And we just went. And I have never taken a break. It's going to be 8 years. And I have never taken a break from WoW.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the thing about Jules, if you guys have never played with Jules, man, she's not like just bringing it like mediocre. Like, she's bringing it, man. Like, she raided with us a couple months ago. We needed a fill-in for our team.
Oh.
And she's not playing around, man. If you're bringing Jules, you can basically just sit back, take your hands off the keyboard, and just sit back and get healed. Let the healing rain fill your bones, man. She brings it. Jules is not playing.
And if she's looking for somebody for a group, if she's looking for somebody in the group and you see it go through the CTR LFG channel and you message her, you better respond fast, because that's gonna get filled. That's how fast.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they work. They do work.
Thank you.
So do you mind?
I apologize to everybody who's ever raided with me, because I am like serious face when I raid. And so I am not like, I don't joke around a lot when I raid, and people are like, I've had people are like, are you mad? Like, no, I'm just
She's like, I'm doing my thing.
I'm
doing my thing. Yeah. That's awesome.
So Jules, do you mind if we ask you for some advice, Tauren Ting Ting style, live on the show here? Chat room, you guys need advice?
Absolutely, I'm here. Let's do it.
Chat room, get us some advice here. So I'm going to start. I'll start with mine. So we're stuck in this 5.4 rut while we wait for Warlords. I log in a raid, and once I'm finished raiding, I'm like, whew. Now the raid time is over. I can log in my alt warrior and level and have some fun. WoW's supposed to be my fun, and I love raiding, but what advice can you give us to keep WoW fun during the downtime between the expansions?
That is such a relevant question right now, and because people are starting to get burnt out and losing interest, because raid content is kind of coming to an end. And so, as a longtime player, I've been struggling with this too. And what I decided to do is to just focus on doing some things that I don't normally have the time to do when I'm focused on raiding, or that you're focused on gearing your character, or you're focused on getting lesser charms so that you can get your rolls. And, I mean, think about how much work we do as raiders just to be prepared for our raids. And then all of a sudden that pendulum just completely shifts, because you're like, yeah, I got the gear. Yeah, I've killed Garrosh. So you're just like, what do I do? And I look at, so what I've been doing myself is I've been leveling a shaman, and I told myself that I was going to do it in a very specific way. I'm going to level a resto shaman, and I'm only going to level through dungeons, and I'm going to see what it's like when I come out on the other side. And just to experience it in a way. Like, I thought I was going to try to do it through PvP, and then I about tore my hair out. No, PvP. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing PvP every once in a while. It's just that there was no incentive to level quickly through PvP because you only get XP, very good XP, if you win.
Right,
and so if like you want to level fast, you wanted to do it that way. I have seen people who are like, I want to do a bucket list where I say I need these things to do before the end. And I love seeing people try some things that they didn't ever think they were going to try. I will tell you, I never, ever thought I would like a shaman. I've tried them numerous times. I've never gotten above level 60. I am now level 84 and almost to the top. I know. I know, Sal. I know. Poor Sal.
Don't say bad about chamois.
I'm sorry. And it's just, it wasn't for me. Now it feels like it's just, it flows so much better. So do something different.
Well, thank
That's
you.
what I would say.
Okay, well, I'd like some advice. Jules, on Tauren Think Tank, you do things anonymously, right? So I don't want to give anyone any names here. Is the thing, but I have some advice that I want a question to ask you. So there's this person who's a friend of mine, right? A friend of mine, and actually, I work with. We have a project that we do together, and I just don't know what to do because he's just constantly threatening to tickle me.
Oh, jeez.
And
what?
I'm not sure I know how to tell him how much I want to punch him in the nose when he threatens me in this way.
Wow, that sounds violent.
It does sound a little violent.
Would like your advice about how I can communicate how much I'd like to punch him.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm seeing from your letter, Sal, is that
nice.
Is that you're kind of in this position where you're being a little bit made uncomfortable and just wanting to tell this person that tickling is not your thing. And
that punching
is your thing. And there's really subtle ways you can do this. You can just kind of walk up to someone and just deck them. I mean,
but violence is
pretty well.
Violence is never the answer. Is it ever the answer? Violence never usually the answer.
Communication is the answer.
Yes,
Stickle.
it is.
Communication
usually. Yes.
is key, as we say on the show. I feel that poor Sal needs to find her voice. I feel like your voice is lost in this feeling of threatening tickledom, and that it might actually cause you to just tighten those vocal cords to the point where the words don't come out. So you focus, girl. You keep those vocal cords hydrated.
That's awesome.
Okay. Me and my seltzer water.
There you go.
I'm gonna do it. I'll get through this.
You can do this. Deep
This
breaths.
episode brought to you by Pam.
Or just embrace it, and enjoy it. But
And enjoy every minute of
yeah,
it.
that's enough.
Oh no!
All right, Jules, I got a question for you. This is a more serious question, but this is a real question. Now, the guild's about a year old, right?
Yes.
About almost exactly a year old. What is your advice to someone in the guild who is feeling like they're not fitting in or not connecting in a way that we've all connected, by playing together and stuff like that? But what is your advice to somebody who's saying, you know what, I'm in this guild, but I'm not the kind of person who just goes into Mumble and says, hey everybody, let's play, or is that kind of an outgoing person? Like, what is your advice to that person in the guild?
That's a great question. And actually, I get this asked a lot, and one of the things that I think is hard for people who feel a little bit intimidated by this group is that you have to remember that this is a group of over 5,000 people that come together. And when you think of it that way, it's like, oh my gosh, that large number of people. And when we all started in this guild, we kind of found our own groups to hang out with because we were all looking for that. And when those groups form, all of a sudden you find your comfort zone, and now you're suddenly not looking anymore to try to find somebody to hang out with. So it gets a little bit more challenging for people who are new, but I can tell you that every single day there are people who join this guild who are new. Every day. And they are just as timid and unsure and uncertain as you. So what I recommend, to do the things that you really do enjoy to do. Find somebody to join for a heroic scenario. Find somebody to do some rep grinds in the Timeless Isle, if that's what you enjoy to do. Look, see someone who's talking in guild chat. Ask to help them. I saw a guy the other day who was like, can someone port me? Is there a mage that can port me to the shrine? And someone said, I'll hop on my, he was on a warrior. I'll hop on my mage to help you out. Just offering to help somebody who asks, you'll get a friend for life. I promise you. Right. It's just when, they ask for advice, what's the best gear for this, between these two? Help them out, send them a whisper. Hey, or ask for help. Just ask somebody for help. But there are so many people in this guild who want to help, and yet they're not actively looking for you because they've kind of found their place. So you may have to get outside your comfort zone just a little bit, but I promise you, just keep trying it. You don't have to jump on Mumble and just chat randomly with people if you're not comfortable. Right. A lot of people are not. So, but remembering that there are people out there who are just as timid as you are and have just joined the guild like you did, I would tell you to join the CTR LFO channel and see who's getting an invite. Oh, join it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you see someone who's like, hey, is there an officer around for an invite? And you see them join the guild and send them a whisper, welcome to CTR. And see what happens.
It's proactive, too. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, I think we have a few questions from the chat room.
I saw some.
And everyone who's listening at home or watching on YouTube, if you're here every other Monday, you can come on the chat room and interact with us and ask questions of our guests. Hey, Nalvox, when you grab a question?
I do. Here's one from the chat room. How do you tell a raid team you don't want to raid with them anymore? I feel guilty leaving a team that isn't doing what I want in terms of progression.
That's a great question. I feel like a lot of times we're afraid to speak up and say what we want. When it comes to raiding, especially because you're afraid to leave people in the lurch. It's no different, I think, than leaving a job. And to go to your manager to let them know that, you know what, there's other things that I'm looking for. Offer to stay for a short time while they find somebody else. Don't just leave without saying anything, but to let the raid leader know, I was hoping to kill Garrosh before February, and right now we're still on Nazgrim, and I'm not getting. I'd like to find a team where I'm getting a little bit more progression. Just be honest and speak up gently. 100% of the time, will it go perfectly? No. There may be hurt feelings. There may be feelings of, go be better than we are or whatever. But honesty will get you most places when it comes to getting out of a situation that you're not happy in, because you're not doing yourself any good. You're not doing your team any good. Let them find somebody who is going to be comfortable doing where you are. And there's no harm in saying I'm not happy. There's nothing bad about that. Just be honest. That's what I would do.
Awesome.
All right, Spencer HD, super friend of the show and super friend of CTR, wants to know, what does the fox say?
Oh, Spencer. No, see, this is not how this goes. I don't say what the foxes say. I say, what does the box say?
Nice. I like that. That's awesome.
Now, the story behind this is that I've been trolled with this silly Elvis song, What Does the Fox Say, for about a month and a half now. By Lou. Lou started this, by the way, our raid liaison leader. And so I have resisted this forever. I've resisted this. And I said, I'm not going to commit to this. I hate this song. I don't want to be a part of this. And one of the days, I have 3 cats. And one of my cats climbed into a box in my kitchen. And I turned around and I was just joking around. I said, what does the box say? hey.
Oh.
And suddenly it was over. I had fallen prey to the what does the fox say?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So Spencer's now very happy that he got me to say it 3 times.
All right. Now, Vox, you want to choose one more of these questions in the chat room?
Absolutely. I've got one here that says, how do you not get swallowed up in a huge guild like CTR? With all those people, how do you know what to do?
You've got to, yeah, you can start a podcast.
Do what I did. Yeah.
I think a lot of us, especially the group that's here, we had the ability to spend time with each other when the guild was a little bit smaller, and got to know each other a little bit better in a more intimate setting. And I've spoken to every one of you guys in Mumble, in public channels, and just hanging out in public channels. And what I do when I have some time is I usually go into a public channel and I usually drag Zug in there, or he drags me in there, and we sit in a public channel and we just talk to people. And just to get people to know each other, and then the conversation starts. And sometimes people actually break off in separate conversations because they started something that worked. I think that's a great way to get to know some people. It can get really overwhelming when it's a big group of people hanging out, but go join a flex group. Go join call together an LFR team and get into Mumble and just talk to each other on the same page as like raiding. It's like the given conversation starter, but you find your place, join an event. There's so many events going on this week. You could be like the star winner of the pet battle tournament that's going on tonight. And all of a sudden you've propelled to the pet battle ranks of fame. And so, find things that you can do to contribute if you wish. You see a problem, suggest a fix for it. If there's a thing that, someone comes to us and says, I think we need to do more of X. Great. Let's try and see if we can work that out. But it's the same thing that people ask a lot of times when it comes to podcasting. How do I stand out? How do I find a way to do something? And you just have to find what you're good at and share that with other people, and they'll find you.
I totally agree. The way I've met most of the people that I talk to has been sitting in Mumble. And just sitting there. I go to Derry's dance channel, party, Derry's dance, no pants, yes, party. And I like sitting in there. And just hang out. That's how I met Belchnickel, just sitting in Mumble talking, and that's how I met, I'm just trolling Sushi right now in the chat room. That's how I met Sushi. Granted, I'm outgoing and I don't have a problem sitting in Mumble doing that, but there are other ways of doing that, of communicating, like checking out the looking for group. Tons of people want heroic scenarios. Maybe you're capped, but you want to help someone else get their heroic scenario down, or like the mage portal thing, volunteer.
Play
with
people. Be there for people, and
yes,
it's like in real life. That's how you establish relationships and connections is be available. Like, hey, sure, let's do this,
One thing that I noticed, well, go ahead.
Sorry, Evertar is like Twitter, get on Twitter.
Yes.
That helps.
Absolutely. One thing that I did notice recently in Guild was a lot of people are stuck at the PvP portion of the Legendary Quest chain. One thing that I've noticed, and I know people are like, oh, don't do that. That's the worst way to do it, is if you get a group of 10 people together, just a guild group, and you can get the people who need the cloak on one team and the other people who are just sitting in Shrine doing nothing on the other team, get the two together, you can challenge each other to the battleground and get your cloak thing done and over with within maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then you don't have to worry about going into PvP. I know it's taboo. I know the PvPers in the guild are like, oh, don't do that. But my time's precious to me. I don't want to have to sit in a losing PvP battle over and over and over and over and over again. And if I can get a group of guildies that like PvP that want to go in there and win one, great. I'll do that. But if I can't, and there's the timid people who don't necessarily like PvP at all.
Well, we did it the other day for one of the guys on my team. It was actually a lot of fun. We got in there and did that. That was awesome. We got in there. We were out of there like in 10 minutes, and it was kind of cool. It's another thing to do.
And I have to echo Evertar's suggestion about Twitter. I mean, Twitter is how I really got to know Belschnickel. I talked to him a couple times in Mumble, but I was talking about how he's having these issues with TMJ, and we started up a DM conversation that was really helpful. And I got to know more about him. He got to know more about me, and it's a good way to connect to people in a private setting. And you can follow what people are saying and what's going on in the guild. There are so many guildies who are on Twitter, and look at. Follow these guys on the Converted and look at who they follow. And you'll get a huge list of people who are in the guild just like that. And all of a sudden now you're involved with people and having a conversation, tweeting back and forth to each other. I am a huge fan of the Twitter conversations that happen.
Yeah. No, Twitter's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
All right, so that's how not to get swallowed in such a huge guild. Participate. And then since Turarts is here and participating in the chat room as well, those guild events. I mean, you mentioned it, like the pet battles and all that. I'm going to go through all the events that are happening this week in a few minutes. Yep. But you just step in. You don't have to even talk much. Just participate, and then you got people that recognize you and you're part of something.
It's so true. I'll be hosting a flex for the anniversary on Thursday night. I'll be doing a flex, and so people can come join us and have some fun and get to know some new people, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, that sounds
great, guys. Get out there and join that flex.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, Jules, gosh, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks so much, Jules.
Thank you guys for having me.
So fun. Jules is one of those people, man. She has like this energy that comes, that she just gives off. It's so positive. Yeah. It's so good to be around. And I remember when I saw you at BlizzCon, it was just so exciting because you're just happy, and happy is contagious, and people like happy. So thanks for coming on, man. It's been great getting to know you and stuff. This is fantastic. Keep doing your thing.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And guildies, if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to ask me or any of these guys. They are so helpful and they're so easy to talk to. They're the bomb.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
All right, talk to you later, Jules.
Yay, that was great. Aww.
That was great.
Oh, that was...
Thanks,
really,
chat
really
room, for sending in those questions.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Oh, man. Yeah, those of you listening, the chat room is a lot of fun right now. There's a lot of crazy characters. We have Catacodex with the moderator sword.
The moderator sword.
Cutting down the trolls.
Speaking of Kata, happy belated birthday from 2 weeks ago.
So what happened now? Was there something that was supposed to be said, or what?
So we go to the forum. We're using the forums now for shout outs, and we got through the show 2 weeks ago, and we're like, great, show's over, blah blah blah. I get in a game. Rex is like, you totally skipped over all my shout outs, and I'm gonna get to those at the end of this show, Rex, I promise. And there was one in there wishing Kata a happy birthday. So happy birthday.
That's awesome.
2 weeks late.
Hey, better late than never, though. That's good. It's good. Well, listen, guys, one of the things we want to start doing on the show in kind of our last segment is kind of bring up a topic that's current in game right now. And try to have something fresh every week to talk about that's just kind of relevant to what's happening. And the big thing right now and what's going down is the boost to 90 thing that's happening. And some people are really excited about it. I think it's a good thing. It's all positive to me. But I went on this website and I was looking at some stuff, and there's people that are actually outraged, about the whole thing and just thinking it's going to break the game and all that other stuff. Where are you guys at? In chat room, you guys can chime in too, but where are you guys at right now? Sal, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on the whole boost to 90 and the fact that it actually might come early? Before the game is actually released. What do you think? Sal? So Nav, that's all right. She might have been frozen. Where are you at, man? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Oh, she's back. She's back. I see her.
All right. She's back.
This boost to 90 is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Okay, so she got so frustrated.
I'm absolutely dreading the day. Are you back?
You were gone and now you're back.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back. Yes, you're back.
Video.
Well, it's because I took my glasses off. It didn't like it. So I'm dreading the day that the boost to 90 actually hits. Just absolutely dreading. It's going to be terrible, 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 terrible. Because I'm on the greeting team for CTR.
Oh.
And now that I've got my computer hooked up and my monitor broke last week, I had to buy a new monitor. Now that I've got internet and now I've got a place to live and stuff, I'm gonna do that a lot more. And I'm just gonna the whole team is gonna get blanketed in 70 invites a minute.
What do you think is going to happen to the guild when that happens? Because I mean, some people are holding out, whether it be financial reasons or whatever, to bring a tune over to the guild. I mean, what do you think is going to happen to the size of the guild? Like, we're at what, 6,000 now? 6,000?
Something like that.
Yeah.
6,500.
I think we're going to see a huge boost in numbers, especially with when Warlords drops. I think we're going to see a huge influx of people as well.
Well, first of all,
CTR.
Our guildies are all going to. Oh, that's a good point. Our guildies going to get alts and want the alts invited.
Yeah.
But if people are getting free boost to 90s, yeah, we're going to see brand new guildies. And I pretend like that's a problem. Like, honestly, I really like seeing those brand new guildies when they come on and they say, hey, I'm new. I just did the application. Did I do it right or something? And I go in and I've got these little macros that I do. Like, hey, get the green wall. Get the be sure to use LFG, CTR LFG. Be sure to use. I tell them to go into Mumble. I said, feel free to use our Mumble and just chat in the public rooms. And I don't know. I find out like what they like and what they want to do and stuff like that. And they ask me about rating, and that's cool. That's really good. And when the 90 thing hits, we're going to get a lot more of those people. And the guild will change a little bit for a little while, because that happens every time there's a huge influx.
It's just the talks of people saying like it's going to break the game. Like if they gave us 80s right now, let's say they give everybody a free 80, would that break our game right now?
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like it's not even the cap. So every now and then, I try to read a little bit after sometimes people post a blog and I'll read a little bit some of the comments, and people are just freaking out. You know what I mean? Like end time stuff. But I want to see.
Oh, it's good. No,
the game is broken. World of Warcraft is over.
Cats living together.
Whatever. No.
It rising from the grave.
I should learn not actually read that stuff, but every now and then,
No, that's just silly. Now why? Because we can all have alts. We can all like raise alts. Like,
I might actually get in some tanking, man. A little tanking action. Learn from Navix, get a little warrior action going.
Heck yeah.
Do you really learn how to?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Do you really learn how to play a tune before you get level capped? I mean, really?
No, you're mashing the buttons that are provided to you at the time of the level. When you're going through, all you're doing is mashing buttons.
Well,
and all you're doing, your PvE content is so easy leveling. It is so easy to level now. It's ridiculous.
Well, and aren't they going to have that trial thing? Even when you get your 90, you're going to have to like unlock some stuff. Like they're not just going to hand it to you, right? I mean, there's going to be some stuff that you have to go through. I have
to read up on it.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything up about it, but I'm just excited for it. So.
Well, I think it's going to be a good thing, man. I'm pumped about it. I might actually do a little something else, and it's good. Well, listen, man, let's get into some announcements. We got a lot of stuff going on in the guild this week. This is a huge week for the guild. I didn't know that it was actually literally today was the 1 year anniversary. I was reading on Twitter earlier, and actually Spencer HD was kind of doing a little troll on me, saying I can't believe Bill didn't know, but it's actually today. And
today.
So Sal, kind of talk about what's happening in the guild. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. So if you're not in it, you need to be getting involved.
Well, hey, January 20th, happy year-anniversary, CTR. That's awesome. Okay.
That is awesome.
So the CTR year-anniversary, and I'm going to continue saying it that way, is happening this week. And it kind of started off last night, I guess. And so tonight saw the pet battle tournament. I'm guessing that's already over. Maybe True Arts can tell us in the chat room who won it. Okay. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 21st, is going to be the Guild Flex or LFR and LFR. Okay. So Wednesday, we're going to do some PvP BGs, get together, do some BGs.
Okay.
On the 23rd, on Thursday, that's going to be the Guild. It says Flex and LFR. I know that Jules is doing the Flex on this Thursday. Friday night is the Scavenger Hunt Part 2, because last night was the first one. Saturday night is Raffle. Sunday is going to all get our bears for the Alliance. There's a gift exchange, there's pony runs, there's photo contests. There's so much stuff going on this week. Look at it on the forums under the events. And True Arts and her crew is putting together some awesome stuff. And
now those flexes, right? It's not just one flex, right? There's going to be a bunch of flexes going on, right? Am I getting that right, or am I totally off? Like it's going to be a bunch of different people organizing flex raids, and everyone's going to try to go out and do something. Like it's not just one. I don't think it's just one flex raid. I think it's actually a bunch of them that are happening. I could be wrong.
I think so too. I don't think that you could fit all of them.
I mean, so there's going to be a bunch of them
mean,
happening. So if you want to flex and you want to get in there, man, get in there with the guild, man. Hook it up.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And remember to get on the forums to find out information about all that stuff. Another thing that's happening that happened this past week that's really cool. Okay, my friend Mega Code put out CTR Guild Healing Roundtable. And what he did is he got different healers from CTR to come and talk as a podcast all about healing. Had someone from each class. The almighty Spencer was there, and we've said his name like 7 times now on this podcast. The Spencer was for Druid. He's amazing. Boone was on his chamois, or talking about chamois. Blaze from Salad Senate, talking about our priest. Le Bleu on Monk. Accor for Paladin, and they all talked about healing and missing Pandaria, and you can check it out on Mega Code's blog at healingspec.com.
And now it's time for our chat room shout-outs. Chat room, type your shout-outs, and we'll read them on the air.
That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Talking about shout-outs. Let's see. Abel, why don't you tell everyone where they can leave their regular shout-outs?
Well, we got a post now that we're doing on the forums. It's actually, I'm looking at it right now, and it's this long, convoluted link. But if you go, if you go on the forums, we're gonna post it we'll post it on the bottom on the YouTube. You'll see it there. There's actually a link now where you guys can actually go and post your shout-outs. It's kind of, we did it that way to keep it so that it's in a more organized place. We can kind of quickly get to it. Sometimes on Twitter, you have to kind of go and start hunting for stuff. So we're gonna have a spot where you guys can call and post whatever shout-outs you want, and you guys can go there every week, or every 2 weeks, I'm sorry, and give us shout-outs so we can kind of let people know on the show and get the word out. While we're getting some shout-outs from the chat room, let's do our personal shout-outs. I got one for, on the Flex Raid, on that Flex Raid I did on Saturday night, there was a guy there, he was from Australia, his name was Hottentot, and I believe he was new to the guild, really nice guy. And they were doing some fun trolling with him, kind of saying like that he was from the UK. They were like, "Hey, so how's the Queen?" or whatever, like long live the Queen. And it's kind of like this misconception, I guess, that some people think. I guess that if you have an accent, you must be from the UK. You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny, but he took it in stride. He had a great time, and he actually joined Twitter. And then he was like, "Hey guys, I just joined Twitter. Like, who should I follow and all that stuff?" So we got him all followed up. Probably FF him this week. Get the word out about Hottentot. I'm giving him a shout out. Nice guy. I'm not even sure if he even listens to the show, but he was really cool and just a great guy. So I'll give him a little shout out today. He was fun.
Okay, this week I got a shout out to Dead Breed again for basically single-handedly like sponsoring my blacksmithing.
Is he your sugar daddy?
You know what? I gotta put a stop to that.
I know. I mean, like, it's okay if he is, but he's hooking you up, girl.
No, he got me into Northrend content. So now I'm thinking about just bringing over a tune that I have on another server that's 90 and is a minor. So, because I don't have a kept out minor right now. Okay. So I just need to do that because it's just silly. I don't know why I'm leveling blacksmithing. I don't know why. I just am. I'm doing it on a DK. So, yes, thank you, Dead Greed. Because I know, if anyone's listening to this, I know he is. So, shout out to Dead Greed.
What about you, Nav? What you got, man?
All right. So, I got a couple shout-outs. One, I want to give a shout-out to Nalda for the Fight Club invite. He continues to give my rogue invites whenever I join the group, they're like, Estonius especially is like, your DPS is, it's all right. The problem is your uptime sucks because you're just going to die eventually. That's what it is. And I die a lot on my rogue, so I'm not too good on that. And my next shout out is to Tommen, because whenever I have a problem with my rogue, I just message him and he's like, all right, do this and this will be better for you. And he's very approachable. I ask him for rogue advice. And another shout out to we had a couple subs this week. Hansi was filling in. Okay. Sal and Andy Hannon, both. So thanks for filling in for that. I'm sorry we couldn't get the Grush kill, but yeah, we had some fun. So
that was fun. That was a good run. That was fun. Yeah. So how about those chat room shout outs? Navox.
Let's take a look. Yeah, we got. They're going really fast now. They're going so fast. They're scrolling up for. I don't have the thing set up here. Let's see. Do you see any there, Sal, that you can just jump on right away?
Okay,
Shout out to Ting for being
the ones on the website. So
for the Win Comedy Relief.
Keep going.
All right, and on the forums, we've got from Firestar, big shout out to Remedies for all the work she puts into the Blizzmaster network. From Nate, shout out to Prima, Hudson, Sunletters, and Hollowshine, the Sochi or Burst Challenge Mode team. Is that it? I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, like the Olympics.
And then
Russia.
from 2 weeks ago for Rex, told you we'd get to these a little late. But shout out for the Win Raid team. Holidays are over. They were over. So it's time for us to get our raid back together again. And
we got a
Rex
shout out for
also-
Chio Young, for winning the pet battle tournament.
They were over.
That's awesome. Sorry, man, they mean to cut you off now.
Oh!
No, it's all good.
They're moving. It's moving kind of fast in there, so I'm gonna let
It
you
is
guys
going
handle
really
it.
fast. So I'm trying. We'll have to. These chat room shout outs are they just scroll fast. So it's
You can scroll up.
yeah, you can
Let's see.
scroll.
Happy
up,
belated
it
birthday,
jumps back down.
Kata. Oh, but it jumps back down. Okay, okay. Shout out to Jules for creating because of WoW. Shout out to me from myself. You're doing a great job, says Sushi.
Nice.
You're doing a great
Self
job.
shout out. You don't have
Good job, Sushi.
If anyone's going to pat themselves on the back, it's going to be Sushi, right? Okay, and now everyone's like, oh, you're the best, Sushi. He is kind of the best. But, come on. Okay, Sugar Daddy. Okay. Guys, if we missed it, I'm sorry. Shout out to Andy.
Yeah, if
He's
we
such a
missed
winner.
any shout outs, we apologize.
Okay, we're just going to have to come up with a better system for this then. Okay, we're still a work in progress with this. But you know what? We are at the end of our second live show. Except Belschnickel has a personal message.
Well, I got one thing real quick. Like, as you guys, I've told you guys before, I've been kind of playing some Hearthstone, getting into that. Well, sometime in the future, we're going to have Rist from the guild come on the show and talk to us about Hearthstone. And he's kind of a big deal. He's actually a really good player. He's on my raid team, but every time I look, he's ranked like in the top 5, 4, 3, somewhere in there in the ranked, and he's a good player. So what he's going to do next Thursday, he's actually going to do like a coaching session with me for Arena. So he's actually going to walk me through some Arena and kind of talk about stuff, and we're going to go through a couple Arena runs, and he's going to kind of talk me through the whole thinking process when you guys are setting up your decks and picking stuff for Arena. So I'm going to record that with him, and I'm going to post it on the Converted YouTube page, and I'll announce on Twitter when that happens. But we're going to have him on the show soon, and we're going to get some Arena tips from Rist, and he's going to be a guest in the future show. Be looking for that. That's going to come out hopefully next Thursday. I'll announce on Twitter when that's happening. But yeah, Rist is in the chat room too, and he's going to make that happen. So he's a good player.
Talking about the show, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be cool. That'll be cool. Okay, guys, next week, or in 2 weeks from now, another special guest. Well, they're all special, right? But we are going to have Darius on the show in 2 weeks.
Looking forward to that.
And we're going to talk about how Belschnickel dissed him at BlizzCon.
Wow. See, we'll leave that as a tease, because there was no dissing going on at BlizzCon with me and Darius. Darius is my boy.
Straight up diss Darius. You said, no, I don't want him on my show.
Darius is actually one of the funniest.
You close the show before we can get him on.
That was kind of messed up, but that's not how it went down.
You set your watch wrong.
You'll have to tune in 2 weeks to see what really went down. But Darius is a funny dude, and I can't wait to have him on the show. I'm really looking forward to that. So don't miss that show, guys.
Yeah. Cool. So, guys, thanks for coming. Chat room, thanks for being really fun and funny and distracting, because you're awesome.
Yeah, we had a blast tonight.
Thanks for being here.
Definitely, man. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for coming on. Be safe. Enjoy the year anniversary, and just keep it CTR, man. It's what it's all about, man. We're having a good time, and we're glad you guys took the time out to listen to us. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Take care.
You can follow us on Twitter at converted_CTR.
And be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, Converted Podcast.
Also, follow us on our Twitch channel, Converted Podcast, and join us live every other Monday at 7 p.m. server.
You can follow me at summer_sal, Navox at NavoxCTR, and Belschnickel at BelschnickelCTR.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
All right, guys, that's it, man. That was a blast, man.
Yay!
Yeah, the chat room was on fire tonight. Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had my mic muted there at the end.
Yeah, man, that was good. Man, Jules was awesome. How
Yes.
awesome is Jules?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's just real easy to talk to, you know, real laid back. She's keeping it real, man. I like it. Oh man, so
See,
yeah, we're
who's
gonna have to figure out a
funniest
better
person
system for
in
the
the chat?
shoutouts. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the shout-outs need a better system, and Bill, I cut you off there halfway through I cut Sal off.
I cut you off, dude.
You know
No,
what?
I
You cut me
I
off
cut-
because you're a jerk.
You know, the messed up thing, and like you guys in the chat room, you guys know this. Anybody who uses XSplit, like Sal and Nav can't actually see me; they can only hear me. Or Jules couldn't see me; she can only hear me. So you lose a little bit of that back and forth, and that kind of like that kind of seeing when people are going to talk. You kind of learn people's little cues when they're going to say something, and you don't get that when we're doing it the way we're doing it now. But it's all good, man. I'm going to probably get a second camera pretty soon, so that you guys can see me, because you know, it's nice to be able to see each other, because I'm just looking at you guys the whole time. But
Yeah.
fun
It's
show
really
tonight,
weird to do this and not see you. Yeah, because I'm just used to like looking at you right in the eye. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get to look at Navox. You know.
Yep.
Like
and I
that.
get to look at we get to look at the blue outline of Bell.
Is that all you see? Is a blue
That's all
black?
we see. We just see the converted icon, and then it's just a blue outline.
I gotta at least put like a mean mug on there. I'll fix that. No, I'm just gonna get a second camera. I'll find something cheap and hook it up.
I'm going to have to figure out what to do with my camera too, because I want to get it so that I'm like, because if I'm staring down, then I'm looking right at the camera, and then I'm looking at the chat room. But then if I'm over
Oh,
here,
are we not
it's like-
broadcasting anymore?
No, we are.
Yeah, the chat room's going.
Yeah,
We're
it's-
just little post show action.
Yeah, just post show.
Okay. Just my Twitch is going in and out. It's just
Hey, we didn't have any
but,
major
hey,
we didn't have any major difficulties tonight. Technical difficulties. It's pretty
little
smooth.
Oh.
nobody, but I'll take it.
Jules said put a kitty picture there.
I can get a real cat. They are all over this room.
You know what? I don't want your cat. I'll tell you
Nope.
that right now.
I'm gonna go find
Keep
them.
your cat. I noticed
Cats.
that you
I'm with it.
framed a converted. What is that?
Oh,
Convert
check it
raid.
out. Yeah. So
Oh, dude, that's mint. You should have
Hang on.
pimped that out, man. Wow.
No, it's subtle. I like it subtle. I like it subtle.
yeah.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah, actually, okay. What I'm thinking about doing, I saw this in the store, but it was way too expensive, so I want to get a cheap one online. I want to get a like a digital picture frame and have it going slowly, like right here. Like, yeah, like right here. So like it'll be like the converted, and then it'll be like a picture of me and Belschnickel at what's it, BlizzCon. Then it'll
That's
be
cool.
like screenshots that I've taken. You know, and maybe some guildies.
Let me see if I can get Callie.
But I don't want to see your cat.
No,
Cats are
the
bad.
chat room wants to see the cat, so I'm gonna get a cat.
Oh,
I got a dog. He's kind of big. People don't like dogs. Everybody likes cats. What's up with everybody in CTR loving cats? Everyone loves cats.
what's the deal with geeks and cats? I don't get it. What's the deal with pugs right now?
This is
And
Callie.
what's the deal with corgis?
What's the deal?
Callie's like, Dad, why did you wake me up? I was sleeping on Mom's desk, and
Jeez,
She
why
is
did you
half-
call it Callie?
she is half asleep. She's our baby. This is our baby. This was the first cat
I'm happy.
that my wife and I got when we first met. We actually decided to adopt a cat because I only had one cat at the time. Well, I had two cats, and I had Abby and Charlotte. Charlotte passed away, and we didn't want Abby to be lonely, so we got Callie here. So I have two more cats that just showed up. They were strays, and so we like to take care of cats. I would take care of all the cats. all the cats in the world I would take care of. I love them. And I know
guys...
it's like, oh my God, this warrior, single tank stock, he's like, mean, blah, blah, blah. And I'm a softie for cats. I don't know what it is. They're great.
What you guys don't know is Navox is actually Dr. Claw. If he turns his chair around,
that's right,
and starts petting his cat, dude, he's Dr. Claw, man.
From Inspector Gadget.
That's right, man.
Cracking up.
You're
right
Dr. Claw, dude. We found him.
You can talk. It's all right.
We found Dr. Claw. He's in Florida.
I'm doing that for Halloween. That's
dude.
Awesome.
If you do that, man, that would be the best thing ever. I have a black
cat too. I'll get him a spike collar.
I'm just picturing you with the chairman. All you see is the cat in the hand, dude.
Okay. Sushi says, I had a cat, but I burnt it when I was burning my Doctor Who DVDs.
Dang, that's kind of rough. That's kind of harsh.
That escalated quickly.
That guy kind of violent, man.
My mother didn't show up tonight.
It's because last week we had some technical difficulties, man. She's just not having it.
She did.
Now, where does your mom live? Like, what state is your mom in? Is she in Texas?
Oh, my mother, she's in Texas.
Okay.
And she did watch, but she couldn't get into the chat room for whatever reason. But she said, who is this person tickling you?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
shoot. See, your mom got the protective thing going on.
She doesn't know the joke. She doesn't know the joke.
That's messed up.
Contact HR regarding that.
Your mom she won't even sleep tonight. You better call her and tell her you were just playing.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, oh my gosh, my daughter moves to New York and now she's getting harassed by a tickler. It did make it sound kind of creepy when you were talking about it. You did sound really concerned about it.
Because
Jules said, mark this moment. This is the moment when Sushi and I are no longer friends. That's awesome. Thanks, Torch, for coming out. Appreciate it.
Oh, good night, Torch.
Night, Torch.
I think my mom's trying to text me again. She's like, yes, you are still broadcasting.
That's awesome.
Yes, I know this. Yes, Mom. Oh, Mom, if you're listening, thank you for coming. I know the chat room would have loved to have spoken to you again. Okay, my mom thinks I'm being harassed. You know what? I am harassed. When you have to deal with Belschnickel.
It's not so bad.
Like
it's really not so bad. We got to chill at BlizzCon, man. That was one of the coolest things. Meeting Sal for the first time. Like, I met Sal actually the same night that I met Jules. Actually, the same night I met everybody. And just meeting Sal, that was one of the coolest things, man. I don't think I tickled you when we first met. Sal? See, Sal does this thing every now and then where her face doesn't move. She just kind of stays there frozen.
Yep.
And she's really good at it. Now she's moving again. But no, BlizzCon was one of the coolest things, man. And I remember Jules was sitting down with Arcane. I think Arcane was there sitting down, and it was just mint. Navox, dude. Next year, man, if it's a BlizzCon,
I know.
You gotta go, bro.
Absolutely.
We should get bunk beds.
Wow,
What?
I don't know about all that. Jeez. That was the most random thing ever.
That was random.
That was almost more random than the I like homemade bath soap, because that's real. I'm gonna throw out a random schnickel fact every episode. Somewhere it's gonna be like a little nugget. You're gonna get a random nugget, dude. But you guys ever tried homemade bath soap?
No.
All right, dude, check it out. Right, there's places in this country and people that actually make homemade bath soap. Like, they make it in their homes or whatever, and I don't know how they do it, but they form it into like a bar, and you use it to clean yourself, right? One time I was in Tennessee, and I stumbled on this little like a little Amish place, and they had a bunch of bath soap that you could buy, and they had like chocolate and honey and licorice and a bunch of other different kinds of bath soap. So I brought some home, and I showed them to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's cool." She kind of faked to like it, but she really didn't like it that much. So one of her friends at work actually gives her homemade bath soap, and I'm using it. Dude, that stuff is the bomb, son. You want to smell good, start using some homemade bath soap. It's pure, dude. It's clean.
That's cool. Now, listen, if you're into
the
whole
lard,
what's that?
pig fat?
Huh?
What is soap made out of? Pig
Dude,
fat?
I have no idea. Actually, I should probably find out, because I could be rubbing pig fat.
I can actually find out. I have a friend that makes soap, so I can actually find out.
Dude, homemade bath soap.
He was out in Colorado, though, so I can. I mean, he lives here now in Sarasota, but I can I'll ping him and ask him about it.
Arcane's got a company, man, that makes the soap. I'm not making this stuff up.
No,
this is real stuff.
People do make soap.
You know? Yeah, see, someone said my sister-in-law makes it, that random geek. People like it, dude. I'm telling you, homemade bath soap is the new thing. In 10 years, everybody, no, probably not, but homemade bath soap is real, dude. You guys, I'm telling you, if you're not using it, hook it up, man.
My wife actually makes her own. She does like natural living things, so she makes her own deodorant and things like that. So it's, yeah, we got off all chemicals in our house.
My mom just sent me a photo of a cat. Thank you, Mom.
I'm gonna check out these links though. We got some links in the channel.
I don't know how many of those are legit, man.
I'm almost afraid to. I'm gonna click on Arcane's because Arcane. I'll click on his link because he looks like a trustworthy dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I met him and stuff. I saw him at BlizzCon. I looked him in the eye. I was like, this guy I can trust. I'll click on Arcane's link. I don't know about this other person here, Lori. Can Lori be trusted? Whoever Lori is. It did go wild though. That's kind of like, you know.
That's Lori from CTR.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, that's cool. But let me click on this thing here.
Yes, Jules, I got trolled by my mom. So now my next text message will be like, what do you mean I troll? I'm not a troll. That'll be the next one.
That soap looks kind of good, yo.
Guys, I have a Christmas pro tip.
Okay.
I want you to... Christmas... this is actually Thanksgiving pro tip. Do not play Cards Against Humanity with your mom.
Okay.
There you go. Or Navox, you haven't played that game? I know Bell.
No,
Bell
I don't do any games on my phone. I don't have any games. I don't do any Facebook games. I don't do.
Cards Against Humanity is a card game that you sit around the table.
Oh, it's something you actually have to interact with other people, like in real life.
In real life, yes.
No.
But it's not something Belschnickel would play because there's like bad words in it and stuff.
Oh, Belschnickel's ears are sensitive.
That's not what I mean.
We do. I've played Apples to Apples before. That's the closest thing I've gotten to a board game in a long time.
Dude, Monopoly. You play Monopoly? You don't play Monopoly?
No, I haven't played Monopoly in forever.
Oh, dude.
This game is Apples to Apples, except that with terrible. It's.
Oh, okay. I'd be into that then. If it's like Apples to Apples with, with
like
adult content, why not?
Terrible things. Like, will make anyone cringe. And one time I played it at a WoW meetup in Dallas, and there was it was bad. Like, we're in public. I can't say this. Yeah. Like, it's bad. And, yeah. And my sister-in-law was handing my mother cards just to hear her say things. Like, it was bad. And,
I just got a post. There was a post from Svensson. It actually has a YouTube video on how to make homemade soap. Listen, I might miss the next show, guys, if I'm making the homemade soap. You know?
Okay.
So just letting you guys know that you guys got this. What happened to Belschnickel, man? He used to play. Nah, man. He opened up his own soap place, man. He's selling soap.
I've heard that before. I'm really glad football season's over because we got Belschnickel back. Like once the playoffs hit, we got Belschnickel back, man. It just wasn't as much football.
Well, you know what happens once the playoffs hit? Fantasy football ends. So it's it's good. But I go into a little bit of a slight depression when football is done. After the Super Bowl, it's not deep. I don't get sad. I don't cry in the field. Nothing like that. But I like football and I miss it when it's gone. But in a way, it's kind of a break too. I like the break. And now I have more time for video games.
Yeah.
Well.
BlizzCon soap. I'm bringing everybody a bar of soap that I made at BlizzCon. No, that's a promise I can't keep. But I'll bring a couple bars and start making it rain.
Can you imagine? Stop. Can you imagine you getting on a plane with a suitcase full of nothing but soap?
It's like, dude, what's in your backpack? It's just soap, dude. It's just soap. And I'm walking around BlizzCon handing out bars of CTR soap. CTR soap would be the thing, though. Here's a T-shirt and here's a bar of soap. Make sure you clean yourself during BlizzCon. Dude, that could work.
It couldn't have been that bad at BlizzCon.
Actually, BlizzCon wasn't that bad. It wasn't that stinky. Sal, did you find it stinky at BlizzCon?
No, I didn't. I think it helps that it happens in November.
Here's another cat. He doesn't want
If
to
it
stay
happened
here.
in August, thank you. Yeah. Sees Belschnickel and gets scared. But okay, how did fantasy football go? Did you win some money? Did you win all the money?
I won about $900 this year
That's awesome.
playing fantasy football.
Well,
I left some money on the table. There's a couple leagues that I had really solid teams that I thought were going to win me some money. The potential that I could have won if I had won every single league that I was in was probably about $4,000. So it turned out pretty good. I'll take the $1,000. It was like $950 somewhere in there.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good, man. And I bank I bank that money and just use it for next year. You know, I don't really mess around with that. That's kind of my fantasy money. But it's fun, man. I love doing it, and it's good. It's good stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, what would CTR soap smell like?
Tears and pain.
Tears.
Tears.
Not down in garage.
Okay, you know the line to get the tickets was pretty bad, and it didn't help that someone like passed out and had to go to the ER.
What?
It was bad. Like, yeah. Andy Hannon texted me. He's like, "Keep my name out your show."
Who said this?
Andy Hannon.
Nice. Now I don't know what
He
the soap
loves
would
it.
smell like, man.
Loves
We'll think of
it.
something good, and you know, I don't know, man. It would smell like Glory. What does Glory smell like?
I don't know, but I just want to see you get on a plane with 20 pounds of glycerin and see how far you get.
Yeah.
Well, Belschnickel was coming to BlizzCon, but
I saw Fight Club.
yeah,
You know,
I didn't like Fight
didn't
Club.
soap explode.
that movie's so. Dude, I saw that such a long time ago. I don't remember anything about it. I know Brad Pitt was in. That's about it.
All I remember about that and everything was dirty, and that drove me nuts, horribly nuts.
Are you a clean freak, Nav?
Oh, I have become a clean freak over time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're a clean freak, but you own like 12 cats? That doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, and believe it or not, like some homes you can walk into where people have cats, and you're like, oh, there's cats here. You can smell cats in this house.
Oh, someone said asparagus.
Yeah.
People walk into this house and they're like, I wouldn't have known you had cats. I'm like, I know. It's just, But, yeah, they're good. They're clean.
Well, the
Yeah, but I'm a clean freak.
internet.
Thanks to my love.
I love how the chat room is still going.
Hey, man, this was fun tonight, man. I'm
This was
loving
fun.
doing this live, dude. Like, it's
Also-
go ahead, man.
Sushi brought up something good.
I like that idea you had, man. That was really good.
Let me pull it back up here.
Yeah, someone said we need to make a whole line of CTR
Sushi,
toiletries.
it was such a great idea. We don't remember what it was, but we were like, wow, that's a great idea.
No,
He said
Yeah, go ahead, Sal.
that we should have some kind of like after party, like
After,
show
yeah, something
party.
after show.
Yeah, I meant to take a screenshot of it, but then I'm like,
No.
I'll just text him later.
The hardest part is just getting
Get
getting new people
this thing.
to come on. You know what I mean? And kind of getting that set up where like, I don't know, getting new people that may not even know about the show to come on and want to be a part of like an after party, get to know you kind of thing.
But something that would be fun at some point was like Sal's got the Trivial Pursuit, the WoW Trivial Pursuit that we could do.
Oh yeah.
That
We
was
could stream
fun.
that
Here's
one
a
night.
sushi-
That'd be kind of fun.
He
Yep.
says for new members, like meet and greet. How would we? Oh, there's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've mentioned this to you a zillion times, Belle. But I know I just need to put it together. Is making like a video for new members of the guild. Be like, welcome to CTR. Be sure to get Greenwall. CTR LFG is your place for like a little
Yeah, like a
infomercial
little
or
like
something.
like something you can watch that's got all the info.
Yeah, like something like that. I really like to do. And I mentioned to Jules a long time ago, and then I moved to New York and crazy, But now that I'm back, I like to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. What do you want to play, Kata? Okay. The regulars of the show can spam guild. The thing is, spamming guild chat is really annoying. and take new members under our wing. I like the taking new members under the wing. Get them the chat room, hang out with them, and mumble. Hang out with them and mumble after.
Mumble, like a new member mumble night would be kind of cool.
That is a great
But the thing is, you don't want it to turn into like it's new member mumble night, and then you got like 50 people that have all been there, and like one new member. I don't know, because it could turn into a situation where they don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Then it turns into like it's like whoa, you know what I mean? Like there's a million people here, and everyone knows each other, and I'm just the new guy. I don't know. It's a good idea. I like the idea. It's just I don't know if it'd be hard to implement. It could be done. I know somebody who might want to man that up. Maybe Sushi might be the guy for that. I mean, he's got a lot of good ideas, you know.
You think it, you do it.
Yeah. No, I like the idea. Something to get new people instantly feeling like they're recognized and that people know that they're here. I think is a good thing. I think that's really good.
Yes, I just thought that if it coincided with the show, it'd be easier to get more established members involved. That's also a good point. Because if you have a new member meet and greet, you still need established members there to kind of be like, "Hey, welcome. What's up? You have any questions?"
Yeah.
You know, and
a new member mumble channel would be good too. Like if you're a new member, like and then if you see some people in there, and you're in Mumble, just drop in and say, "Hey, what's going on? You're new to the guild?" "Yeah, I am." "Hey, I'm Belschnickel." Whatever. How are you liking the guild so far? Do you have any questions or whatever? And it can kind of be a place where like they can kind of go into and kind of just be in game and wait for someone to stop by and say something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know. That's then anybody can stop by and be like, "Hey."
One thing that I noticed with Mumble is people hang out in the Blue Recluse Inn. I mean that's an okay hangout, but it's kind of like the Walmart greeter position of Mumble. Like people join it and then just bolt past the Blue Recluse.
That's a terrible place to chat because it's just like
it defaults you in there.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
That is not a place where you can actually have a conversation. But okay, the problem is with having like a channel for new members is getting the information to new members that it is okay to come hanging out and Mumble even though you're not raiding. I try to tell people that like, hey, you don't have to have it. You don't have to like use Mumble for a specific purpose. You can come in and just chill. Because that's kind of for people who have been in huge guilds before, maybe they're used to that, but like in my old guild, we wouldn't be in Mumble unless we were raiding.
I've always been that kind of a person too. Like you would never see me prior to the CTR. You would never see me in Mumble unless it was raid night. But the other thing too, though, is you can get that information is easy to get out to anybody that's new because anybody that's new to the guild is a CTR listener. So if they mentioned it during their show, like, hey guys, we're gonna have this channel in Mumble in the future for new people. If you want to come in there and just hang out, just go into that channel and we'll know you're new and we'll stop by and say hi and it'll be a nice way to kind of meet people. That's the best way to get information out to new people is probably through them. I'm guessing. Jules
says something good. It's as simple as logging into the game and telling people there's a gathering in Mumble. Because usually when there's like spam and stuff in guild chat, like people are not going to see it. But if you're like, hey, right now, we are having a conversation right now, and why don't you just come and just join and chill with us? Come on in. That's not a bad idea because we wouldn't be like spamming it for weeks going, okay, in 2 weeks, we're going to have like a new member meet and greet. We could just be like, hey, we're going to do this. Here's when we're going to do it. And then like on the day, be like, hey, anyone online, come to the chat room.
Do people stay? Go ahead, Nav.
I was going to say we could also do maybe like if we don't have anything lined up as a guest or for a guest or something that 1 week, maybe we can just go be like, hey, why don't you come do the converted flex run? I don't know. Maybe we can do something like
a flex run or something.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that people are coming into the Blue Recluse channel and staying there though? Because like I know when I pop in, I'm looking for raid 7, and that's where I'm going. If someone's there, I might say, "Hey guys, what's going on?" and then I'm out. Are people actually staying in that channel just to hang out? I know.
I've seen. I'm sorry.
Which channel?
The one that it defaults you to, the Blue Recluse channel.
There are a lot of people that stay in that channel
and hang out, like, and actually talk to each other.
And they just hang out and just talk.
Okay. Because I know when I've gone in, it's like, hey guys, what's up? I'm going to raid 10. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Well, just for me, I guess I have my like default kind of sounds on. I took off the Navox has entered the room. I took that off, but it still like goes when someone comes out and when someone leaves and
I turn all that off.
So
I'm back on my clicky keyboard now.
I mean, there's other channels.
So how'd you fix that, man? You just switched out your keyboard?
No, I have my Razer keyboard, and then I just switch it out with my soft Dell keyboard. So yeah, it's nicer so that because last one I was like,
oh dude, yeah,
it was horrible. So
well, and mine's the same way. Like I don't type on it during the show because I'm clicking around, but it's loud too. People used to complain all the time when we raid. I got another headset that works a little bit better. Hey,
okay, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's just close this. One thing Jules says, that I always try to tell people whenever they're trying to plan anything, they're like, "Oh, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do." Like, just do it. You don't have to, you don't have to make the grand plans or be someone special or be in a leadership position or whatever. You just can do it and invite people to do it. So let's just say next time we have a show in 2 weeks, let's pop into Mumble. Invite people from the guild and talk to them for a little while, like we're doing right now, except in Mumble.
I'm down.
Okay, and then specifically invite like new people.
Is there a place that the new people are cataloged? Like these are the people that joined this month?
Spencer, perhaps you would know this. But the thing is, I don't know how we get a hold of him. We don't want to spam him with email or anything.
Let's see. I can talk to Spence and find out. I mean,
speaking of Spence,
I gotta talk to him after. I gotta talk to him after this. We're working on a little something, so I need to talk to him.
He's got this picture that I saw. Now that he's in channel, he'll hear this. He's got this picture that I saw on the thing. I don't know if you guys saw the picture contest of like a 90-inch television.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
gigantic.
That's pretty awesome.
Is the language thing really a thing, Spencer? Like, is that do people really value being able to use mature language? I put quotations around it because I don't find it all that mature. I mean, sure, I drop a few. Yes, I curse on occasion, but like, is it? Do people really, really, really value that?
I think people use more language in the party channels than they do in the top 2 channels.
Well, but they're not supposed to be using language in those
exactly,
channels.
and that does get honestly, people will jump on other people. I've seen people go, hey, keep it family friendly, because we actually do have kids playing the game, folks, if you didn't know. And sometimes the mature language filter just happens to get turned off. But
I guess if people are being cool about it, like I just obviously there was a room that used to be crazy that they got rid of, and then Saturday nights in Party 5 got too much for me for a while. But I don't know. I guess, Spencer, you're right, that people feel more comfortable, whatever. But
I like the idea though of setting up a channel and going in there and just meeting new people. I think that's cool. And sometimes, like, if somebody doesn't, if certain people don't want to go out and they want to be available, then sometimes people like to be approached instead of being the ones to approach people. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I just don't mind following guild rules. Because when people on those private channels, I just don't jump into them, even though they're not the private channels. If they're just in Party 1, I don't jump in. But I like going to the public channels and just talking to everyone and just not using the language. But maybe I'm just crazy.
I never jump into a channel unless either I know the people really well or I've been invited to. I don't know. I figure if some people are in a channel talking, they might be talking about something or whatever. Just, I don't know. But everyone's got whatever they feel comfortable doing,
Well, Sushi did mention that, okay, Saturday night Moonguard runs were fun. And I wouldn't mind doing them again. I still want to try rolling on RP servers.
We could do a converted live stream at Moonguard night.
I want to do that. I want to do it.
Navok shaking his head.
I'm not saying that we don't need to go into the bad places, but just to go and like RP a little bit and see what it's like to
And walk around, because nobody runs on RP servers. Everybody's walking.
You're not supposed to run everywhere, dude. Do you run everywhere in real life?
I know, it's like, yes, I run everywhere in real life. Of course I do. I run into a lot of people that way. Knock them over.
Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap this up, man. I'm gonna get some of this stuff posted. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, guys, in the chat room and sticking around for the after show. This is awesome. I am loving doing this live. It's so much fun, and it's a big change for us, and it's been 100% positive. I love it.
Yeah, everyone like stayed. Like everyone stayed.
No, that's awesome. Here, so. You know. So yeah, 2 weeks we got Darius. It's gonna be a lot of fun too. Darius is a fun guy. Looking forward to that.
Yes, Svensson.
Cats. Come on.
Yes.
And I wanted to show you. Like we were talking about this before the show. Like when I'm not using, I can just like stick it right to my back.
I can't believe you just happen to have that in your office. It's like
you have to, because the mouse pad that I have here just gets like clumped up with cat hair. Because if I'm raiding, I'll post pictures on Twitter. But if I'm raiding, and Callie or somebody wants attention, she'll lay down in front of the monitor or on top of the keyboard, which is why I have to use the this.
That's a beast.
Yeah, it's the Tartarus. It's it's not the Orb Weaver. The Orb Weaver's got too many buttons, but this is the what do you call it? The Nostromo revision. And thank God for the 2 Razer products that I have, because I don't have to touch the keyboard, especially when she's laying all over the keyboard. So
that's what you game with, dude?
Yeah, that's what I game with. I never touch my keyboard. I don't touch it all unless I'm typing. That's it. I type on it. I communicate with it, but other than that, everything's on here. That's it.
What are? Can you put that a little bit closer? What are all the buttons on that thing?
Okay, so
you macro them up.
This is basically your WASD. Like 3's your WASD setup right here.
Okay.
I've got a configuration so that, like my taunt. I'm sorry, that's my heroic leap. That's my taunt. There's my map. Battle shout.
So you can just macro all your stuff up there, and it's like a mini keyboard, like a one-hand keyboard.
Yeah, you can actually set up macros, but like here's my tab targeting and a shift. So what I do is I use this, the Naya, and then I have all my stuff bound to all these keys, and then I use a shift modifier, and then I've got 12 more keys. So it's
wow, dude, you're taking it to the next level, man.
No, it's nicer, and it takes a short period of time to
Oh my
Someone
Lord.
said that's why you're so slow on taunts.
No, I was so slow on taunts because it was late at night.
My mother just
sent you more pictures.
Your mom's in the chat room?
Let me tell you, Paragons puts me to sleep. That Paragons fight, I'm just like, oh, I got a taunt. It's Paragons. And then Gary.
By the way, you owe me a Gary. I can't even say that straight. I can't even
we'll do it.
I don't actually believe that. So, yeah.
But the crazy thing is you guys killed Gary every night except the night that Sal came. What's up with that?
There's a lot of pugs. It was like
all right.
4 or 5 pugs.
Yeah,
I was one of them.
Yeah.
And I was definitely the lowest performing on the team. I mean, I don't know how the healers are doing, but like I was definitely the lowest DPS. And at first I died a lot.
Yeah, but aren't these guys
the healers the healers were our regular healers. Like they can only do so much. I actually never worry with my healers. My healers are I'm like fortunate, like our healers are some of the best healers around. Like I never worry about a heal coming in. Like there's never a moment during the raid where I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna die. Like I'm fine. As long as I see the healers up, I'm fine. And once they go down, I'm like, oh, fight's over. But other than that,
I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate's bad. Nate stands and stuff. Nate puts stuff all over the room when he's not supposed to, but we love Nate. Nate's our guy now. He's a melee guy now. So,
Sal, is your mom in the chat?
Andy did. No, but I think she's still watching.
So is your mom going to come on the show as a guest one time or what?
No, she doesn't play WoW, so...
Yeah, but she
She's not
can
a
give
member
us
of
some of the
CTR.
insights and what it was like to raise Sal. You know, all the trials and tribulations. I think that'll be entertaining. Apparently you
Hello,
disagree,
Mother.
Sal. You said hello, Mother?
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That is kind of cool. Good thing we didn't have any technical difficulties this week.
I wish you to be in the chat room next time. It's fun to have you in the chat room. We didn't really have, I mean, other than me roboting a little bit, which is fine, which I'll take it. I will take it. One last question. What is Andy doing? So Andy comes after the show. Do you ever worry about the healing coming in? I want to know how much Andy has had to drink this evening. That's what I want to know. I need to get...
I have to
visit
get
Boston.
rolling here.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. But thanks so much for
guys.
coming. I'll have this thing posted
It
on
is
YouTube
midnight.
in
It
no
is
time.
time to go to
And
bed.
the audio will be set up, I would say, by tomorrow. So thanks again for coming, guys. And we'll see you guys, hopefully all you guys, back in 2 weeks.
Andy.
All right, guys. I'm killing the stream. Thanks again, guys.
All right. See you guys.